Hi, I often get asked the question, now that I have crystals, what do I do with them? What do I do with the crystals that I have bought? What do I do with the crystals that I have laying around and which I have not engaged with actively in a long, long time? I am going to answer that question based on my personal experience and also share what I have discovered to be one of the most important things. Actually, the first step that I feel is so important in helping us all, or that has helped me in really establishing a very fruitful, fulfilling relationship with these amazing crystal beings that are here to help us in this lifetime. Seriously, many of us who are engaging with crystals, at least at this point, know that these crystals are living consciousnesses. They are tools that are here to assist us in remembering in this journey of ascension and awakening and growth and expansion. So these are just not crystals, and those who have eyes truly see them for what they are. So, when I began working with crystals in the beginning, it was a very unconscious engagement. I was just engaging with crystals based on the information that I had from an inner knowing. And I was intuitively saying yes to information that was coming through and just following what it was intuitively. I had no inner understanding of what these crystals were. It was more of a mental thing, and it was more about following my intuition. Very unconscious engagement. And it just so happens that in life, the universe is always so supportive of us when you're trying to find what the next step is. When the student is ready, the teacher always appears. And sometimes you find yourself drawn to things that you might not understand on a mental level. You might not even understand why you're there listening to someone talking about crystal or any other metaphysical or spiritual stuff, but you find yourself somehow drawn there. And maybe you find yourself really fascinated by the information that's coming through. And this is usually because of the benevolence of the universe and how the light language that comes through bypasses and overrides the mental mind and goes straight into our higher consciousnesses, to allow us to receive that information that we might not be unable to understand on a mental level, that we might be resisting on a mental level, but that is so good for us because once we get it, we run with it and our lives change forever. So the universe always introduces the ability of hearing sounds, of meeting people, of being in circumstances that introduces energy that comes forward as powerful light to come straight and communicate with our higher selves so that we can emerge and find that gold mine that we need to enable us to live beautiful lives at this particular time. So my engagement with crystals in the beginning was a very unconscious one. But as time went by, it became a conscious one. And what you're really aiming for is mastery in everything that we are doing, because we are no longer victims of anything. We are powerful beings. So we are learning to engage with everything in a very conscious way. It's that kind of mastery that we have to attain to become the magicians that we truly are on so many levels. And this is just a very exciting discovery. So my engagement was unconscious, and then it became conscious. And now, because I have gained a lot of awareness because of my love for crystals and what they have taught me, I see things differently. But for anyone who is probably beginning on this journey, or who has crystals and they probably can't remember why they even have those crystals, this might be useful information for you. And it's simple. I'm only going to talk about one thing, one important step. After one has cleansed their crystals and charged their crystals, one must, I feel that there has to be a relationship with the crystal. I engage with my crystals like my friends and my family. Can you imagine inviting your friend and your family into your life? And then as soon as they get there, you start making demands or requiring the crystal to perform, or your friend to perform. When your friend comes into your home, there's some kind of protocol that has to go on. There has to be an establishment of some kind of relationship. There has to be an intimate connection, especially if you want to get information from someone. Can you imagine? Just imagine. This is just how things are. You cannot, when you go out to someone and you meet them, you don't even know them, and then you want assistance. There's a way to go about things. So when you engage with your crystal, right, it comes into your home, you'll welcome it home, you know, just the way you would welcome any other friend or any person that you have an intimate relationship. Of course, you have to love that person. Because remember, even in real life, some of the things that really, really end relationships are, you know, a lack of love in a relationship, a lack of respect in a relationship, the inability to communicate in a relationship, and a lack of intimacy. You know, those things really can end a relationship like this. So when you have a crystal, because you're trying to have a relationship with this crystal, because it will be a give and take kind of thing, you know, when you approach the relationship with love, because when you love someone, you know, the information just flows, you know, things become so much easier when there's love. You know, these are intelligent beings we are communicating and dealing with here. So there has to be love. Can you imagine just trying to get information from someone that you don't love? What do you think is going to be coming back from that person? Yeah, we all know that, right? So can you imagine trying to communicate with someone or not having the ability to communicate with someone that you love? That usually ends a lot of relationships, you know, or not having respect for the person that you have or a friend of yours, you know, that party will be over right there. So, and not even being intimate with someone or that you love. The lack of intimacy is really what causes a lot of things to fall apart. So I want to suggest from my own personal experience that having and developing an intimate relationship with your crystal from the onset is one of the things that will really, really help you enjoy the benefits of this crystal, because then you'll have a friendship, then you will have love, then you'll be able to communicate, then you'll be able to have respect, and it will be a back and forth thing. It will be a trust thing between you and your crystal, and it will be so much fun because then you will know your crystal and you will get a lot of information that you will trust. You will trust yourself, you'll trust your crystal, and you'll run with it. I have found that engaging with my crystals intimately has truly, truly changed my life. And I tell you, I mean, I've made so many videos about all the information that comes through by trusting and by loving my crystals, and a lot more information still keeps being revealed to me from my crystals, just because I make that effort to have an intimate relationship with them. I treat my crystals like my friends, like my family, and with really, it's just so much love. At the same time, I'm also thinking about the crystals sometimes. I have some crystals that I've ignored for a long, long time because I was not able to connect with them. So I was just thinking the other day, seriously, if I wanted to get information from a friend of mine that I have not been speaking to in a long, long time, you know, I'll have a lot of buttering up to do. I have to approach the situation very delicately. You know, I have to bring my friend and, you know, engage with my friend and really reestablish a connection with that friend before I can really, truly expect to receive information from my friend. Just imagine someone, you know, when you're not really in the right books with someone, it's a little dicey. So I feel that for every crystal that comes into my life that I receive information from, at least in the beginning, there has to be that loving intimacy and that connection with the crystal. And then it will just be a party from that point. And you can test it, you can really, really test it. It really, really works miracles, especially when you're beginning. After a while, the crystal will show you how to engage with it in various forms. And maybe the way you relate to the crystal will be very different, but they really do expand your senses in a way that at least there's a different kind of connection that is made when you have begun to know how to work with these crystals. And then I also wanted to say, when I have crystals, usually the new crystals that come into my life, I usually receive them with my left hand because my left hand is my receiving hand. So I usually place the crystals on the palm of my hand because this left hand has a receptive energy that flows straight into my heart. And the right hand is really an energy that emits energy out or projects energy out. So I usually don't use it in because I want to receive the crystal into my life. I usually place it on my palm of the palm of my left hand and allow it to come and connect with my heart. And of course, I welcome it the way I know how to welcome crystals best. So this is just my way of establishing an intimate relationship with crystals on the onset so that my life and my relationship with these crystals can really produce all the goodies for me, because that's all I want at this particular time in this amazing life. So how do you engage with your crystals after you have done the cleansing and after you have done the charging? How do you engage with your crystals? We know that crystals do help us in a lot of things with, the elixirs and meditations and the healing and the grids and just so much more, opening up people psychically and just leading us from one step to the next and just opening up portals of all kinds. We know all these things happen, but how is your relationship with these crystals? I would like to know. I'm very curious about that. Let me know. Leave your comments below. We are truly, truly, truly loved. We're truly, truly cared for. And we truly love these beings that are here to assist us at this time. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the crystals. Bye.